So, you're thinking about a Maxi-Scooter. Let's be honest, when some people hear the word scooter, they probably still picture a little 16-year-old on his two-stroke buzzing into McDonald's car park. Or maybe the Uber Eats driver dropping off a freshly cooked, cold McDonald's Happy Meal. But here's the thing, maybe it's time we stop caring what some people think about scooters. Maybe it's time we started asking what we actually want from riding. See, I've met riders in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s who've discovered that the best bike isn't always the one that looks the part, it's the one that actually gets you back out there and loving every mile. So, if you are watching this, the chances are that you're already starting to think a little bit differently about what makes a great ride. You see, times have changed. We're talking Maxi-Scooters now, and Maxi-Scooters are not toys. They're serious, capable machines that can handle commuting, touring, and just about anything that you throw at them. So, forget everything that you think you know about scooters, because what I'm about to share might just change how you think about riding altogether. There's a statement. And before you roll your eyes, here are 5 questions that might just prove that a Maxi-Scooter could actually be the best decision that you've made this year. These 5 questions will help you to assess whether a Maxi-Scooter might just be right for you or not. So, the first question is, if you are thinking about riding or changing your style of riding in some way, my first question is, what do you actually want from it? You see, we fall into the pattern of thought. If we are thinking about getting a bike or getting back on 2 wheels for some reason, we get tempted by the first one that we see, either the best looking bike or the biggest or the fastest, or the one that all our mates think we should get, or the one that our peers are riding, and so we've got to get the same to keep up with our peer group. But that might not be the type of riding that we want to do. So what do you actually want from riding? And it might be different at different phases of life. A few years ago you might have wanted to test yourself and get your knee down and go and have an adrenaline rush, but now your needs have shifted. So the first question to ask, and it's a really honest one, is what do you actually want from your riding? Do you just want to do a bit of a commute? Do you want to nip out on little coffee runs with your mates? Do you want to do some form of touring, UK touring or European touring? The choice is yours, but what you want from your riding is really important, because that will determine the type of bike that you get. It's pointless going and buying something that looks great, that goes really fast or goes really far, but it doesn't suit what you want, because you're not going to ride it. And what's the point of that? So number 1 is a really honest one. What do you actually want from your riding? I've heard from so many riders who say, I just want to feel like myself again, mate. And that isn't about horsepower or top speed. That's about freedom. A Maxi-Scooter isn't about what other people think. It's about getting back to what you love. And if you want something that makes you look forward to riding again every single day, well, a Maxi-Scooter will deliver absolutely that. It's not about ego, it's about enjoyment. And honestly, that is a much better reason to get on two wheels, isn't it? Secondly, question 2, where will you ride most often? Because again, we fall into this kind of romantic ideation that if I get a bike, I'm going to do this. I'm going to ride to the south of France on it. I'm going to do these tours through the Pyrenees. I'm going to take it on track days, whatever it might be, wherever you're coming from. We have this kind of romantic assessment, but the reality is often a little bit different. So where will you be riding most? And find a bike that satisfies that requirement. It's pointless buying something that you think you're going to go on tour on, but for 95% of your time, you're just in and out of towns in the UK, or you're riding to work, or you're riding to the shops on it. So you've got this big touring beast that you're not getting the best of, or it's sat in the garage gathering dust because you're not riding where you want to ride. So where will you be riding most often? Be really honest with that and find the bike that will suit all of your different categories and criteria. If you can find something that does the day-to-day but also does the touring, you're going to ride it more. Some of my best rides have been right out there on my doorstep. A Maxi-Scooter turns even your local run to the shops into just this little adventure, because suddenly you're noticing the countryside, the back roads, those hidden gems that you've driven past and not noticed for years. And when you do want to go further, well, you'll be shocked at how far you can go, comfortably and confidently, without feeling like you've run a marathon at the end of it. So, forget the stereotype. These aren't just the little town runabouts anymore. These are serious bikes that can take you out of town as far as you want to go, well into your next adventure. Number 3, and this is a personal one, but how hands-on do you want your riding to actually be? Now, I get that riding a bike is an organic, beautiful, mechanical thing. It's a dance between clutch and brake and accelerator and feet and hands to make that machine dance through the corners. And some people love that. Some people love that. But equally, that might have been something that you wanted at some point, but maybe you don't want that anymore. How hands-on do you want to be? Because the less hands-on you are, the easier the bike is to ride. Well, the more time you get to focus on your environment and the riding that you're doing, as opposed to worrying about what gear you're in and what gear you need to be in. It just takes that headspace out of how to ride the bike onto where you're riding it and how you're riding it. So ultimately, it can make us more aware riders if we're more aware of our environment. So if we can cut down the amount of work that we have to do, it can make us enjoy the ride a little bit more in some cases. And I get it, if you like the whole dance, that's fine. A scooter probably isn't for you, but if you're thinking, maybe I just want to ease it a little bit and find an easier way to ride and increase my enjoyment, well, maybe it's worthy of consideration. We make things a lot harder than they actually need to be. And we tell ourselves things like, well, it's not real riding unless it's complicated. I know riders who've spent years wrestling with big heavy bikes and stiff clutches, only to realise that actually simple can be a lot smarter. And quite honestly, well, life's complicated enough. So your ride doesn't have to be. What if the real joy is in letting go of all of that? What if you could just focus on the road, on the scenery, the environment, on the moment, and not be worried about the mechanics of it all? Maybe now you do just want to twist and go and enjoy the ride without all that extra hard work and with all the enjoyment that it brings. No gears, no stalling, no constant clutching, just smooth, effortless progress. If that sounds appealing, you might just be a Maxi-Scooter rider already, you just don't know it yet. Question number 4 is, do you value practicality as much as you do performance? And again, that's a really honest question to ask, because we get led down the performance route. The bike's this big, it'll go that quick, it's got that much torque, it will do 0 to 60 in whatever, or 0 to beyond 60 if you have that mindset. But and we buy the fastest, gleaming, noisiest thing that we can buy that satisfies that requirement. Great if that's what you want to do. But where do you put practicality on that? And do you value that as much as performance? Because these things are hugely practical. Not only have they got exceptional performance that will handle a wide variety of riding requirements, if you like, they're hugely practical. I did a review on this a few weeks ago. You can log on and have a look at that and find that in the channel if you want to. That demonstrates how practical these things are. So you can take your gear with you, you can take your security with you, you can take a change of clothing with you can take a couple of bags with you, and you don't have to add panniers or racks or whatever it may well be that ultimately spoil the lines of what are beautiful machines in some cases, and affect the aesthetics and affect the aerodynamic performance of them as well. So yeah, these things are hugely practical, as well as they're brilliant performers in a range of different environments as well. So question 4 is an honest, really interesting one to ask. Are you appreciating practicality a little bit more than maybe you used to? Well, that might lean you down this route as well. Being practical actually isn't boring. It's what lets you say yes to more rides. And when you can stash your shopping, stay dry in the rain, you can plug your phone in, you're not just making life easier, you're making it possible to ride more often. And honestly, the best bike is the one that you actually use. That's where the stories are made, that's where the smiles all come from. There's nothing uncool about being practical. In fact, it's what makes you ride more. And riding is cool. So more riding is more cool. So it's a simple equation, isn't it? Practical is cool. And finally, question 5 is, well, what's your budget? And I know it's a very boring practical question to ask, but ultimately, what's your budget? And I don't just mean the budget to buy the bike. I mean, these come in really cost effectively. They really do. You get a lot of bike for your money, but it's not just the purchase price, it's the ongoing costs as well. This is hugely efficient. It'll do 86 miles to the gallon, so fuel costs are next to nothing. Insurance is really cheap, and the ongoing maintenance is really cheap. The tyres and the wheels are smaller, so you're not shelling out as much every time you need some new rubber as well. Insurance is cheap, road tax, everything. So, and it doesn't really need a lot of oil. I've not even touched it since I bought it. So it's not thirsty on petrol, it's not thirsty on oil. So your ongoing costs are a lot cheaper than they are with bigger bikes as well. The real value is in the rides that you actually take and not the ones that you don't. I've known people who spent an absolute fortune on a bike only to let it gather dust in the garage because it was too precious or too expensive to use. A Maxi-Scooter is the opposite to that. It is built to be used, not just sat there and admired. You'll find yourself saying yes to far more rides. These scooters are some of the most effective ways to be on two wheels. Some people will tell you to just buy a proper bike, but if you can run something that's cheaper and easier while still loving every single mile with a smile on your face, why would you? So, they're my 5 points. Number 1, what do you actually want from riding? That is a really honest question to ask. Number 2, where will you ride most often? We have this romantic perception that it might be slightly different. The reality might be different to what we want. Number 3, how hands-on do you want your riding to be? Do you want to be part of it, or do you want it to do the work for you? Brilliant assessment. Number 4, do you value practicality as much as you do performance? These things are hugely practical. And number 5, ultimately, what's your budget? Your purchase price, but your ongoing budget as well. And if, like me, you're kind of leaning, you know where you're leaning on some of those, you might just be in the market for a Maxi-Scooter, because it might just tick more boxes than you thought you had in the first place. So, send me your comments, let me know what you think. Are you in the market? Have you recently bought one? A lot of people have commented on the channel that since having bought either their ADV like this one or their alternate Maxi-Scooter, they don't ride their other bikes as much. Loads of people have said, I've traded in my 1200 GS for a 350 ADV and I'm still doing the same amount of travelling, same amount of touring and the same amount of miles, just in more comfort. So I think there's a movement. I think there is a switch happening here. So if you're thinking about it, let me know in the comments. If you've got any questions, ask them and I'll do my best to answer them as well. And equally, I want this channel to develop. So let me know what other sorts of content you would like to see on it, because I'm flexible, I'll always respond to the comments, and yeah, I'm up for a challenge really. So there you go. So this is Back in the Saddle. My name's Rob. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again really soon. Take care, thank you, and ride safe.